7. Good morning. 8:41 here. 19 before 9. We always check in on your money and find out what the Sam Hill's going on Wall Street. And to do that, we check in with Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services, who is on the line with us this morning. Phillip, good morning. It's good to hear you.
Good morning, Dave. Hey, good to hear you today. Sorry I missed yesterday. I would have rather been on the radio with you, though, because I was in the middle of loading a moving truck.
And nothing like having somebody say, "Hey, Dad, help with the U-Haul," right?
Exactly. So we were loading up yesterday, got all that taken care of, and so we're back with you this morning.
And we're glad to have you here. The big lead story as far as the news is concerned, even before we get to the macros, it'd have to be Amazon. They set just all kinds of new records in their fourth quarter. They slayed the estimates on the street, and then they said, first quarter might not be quite as barn burner as the fourth quarter, and everybody said, oh, my Lord, they're about to go away. They're selling them like chiclets. You just can't keep some investors happy, can you?
No, sometimes you can't, man. I tell you, it's but you know they had a pretty good quarter, so we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the numbers per se? I knew it was a barn burner win, and one of the analysts that I read was that one of the concerns that the analysts are worried about is that Amazon isn't monetizing their purchase of Whole Foods and integrating it in with their mail order and internet platform quite as quickly or anything near as profitably as everybody had dreams of it happening. Gosh, what a concept. Perishables don't ship that well. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised on that front. But they did. They beat. Well, they came in at $6.04 a share. The estimate was $5.68 a share. So I mean that was a pretty good beat when it comes to that. And then revenue was ahead of forecast. They had a record holiday quarter. And so, but what's happened? They're given weaker than expected guidance for this next quarter, and so they don't like it when you start doing that, and so they're trading down a little over 4% this morning.
Absolutely, and they merit note at the top primarily because the capitalization of Amazon beats some small countries, so it's worth mentioning they're almost a nation unto themselves. The macro stuff out of the federal government, we got another mixed bag in here in the process. You look at it at the top of the story, created 304,000 new jobs last month, gangbusters. They revised November up, and then you look a little farther, and whoops, they revised December down. So it's good, but nowhere near as good as anybody expected in terms of job creation.
Well, right. It was a substantial beat for this month, but you look at December, and that was a significant revision. Back in December, they came out and said we had 312,000 new jobs created. Now they've gone back and they've looked at the numbers more closely with some new data that comes in. It was only 222,000 new jobs. So that was a significant miss back then that we're just now getting to see. And so now we're looking at 304 compared to, I think, 178, 179 that was expected. It makes you wonder, will this number get revised down also, Dave?
I guess that's the biggest reason. When you and I were on the phone beforehand, I was saying, okay, take it as a 2-month smoothed average. We have two modest beats instead of, one way out of the ballpark and the other one reduced. But, yeah, it kind of puts some credibility issues onto the numbers to begin with when you make like a 25% change in the number when you revise it in a month.
Yeah, it really is. So, but and then I did see that we saw the first uptick in mortgage rates in 2019 came this week. But the other little blurb I said is expect it to start to decline from here.
Some of that has to be a relationship a little bit to Chairman Paulson's statement that the Fed was prepared to be patient with interest rate increase. I was observing yesterday just how amazing one word can actually have as an effect on the market, can it?
Yeah, it really can. And you're right. It did definitely impacted the futures and the market as a whole yesterday. Though I thought it was interesting, I know you'll probably mention this later, but that the Dow actually ended up down for the day compared to the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq had pretty good days.
Yeah, it kind of turned into a kissing your sister day on the Dow, and the rest of the indexes did okay, but we shot through the roof the day before, and Paulson said, yeah, we're going to be patient on those interest rates. One more little bit of macro news because people are going to be hearing it on the top of the hour news all darn day. The unemployment rate inched up from 3.9 to 4%, still considered full employment, but a lot of that has got to be the jobless federal workers on furlough filing for unemployment during the month-long shutdown. So I'm kind of writing that 4% number off for 1 month to see what's going on, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. We'll have to see what that number comes out next month. I think that will be a more important, well, unless they end up having to shut the government down again because Congress can't get their act together and pass something that will get through the president.
And that's always probably something that needs to be looked at because it doesn't sound like there's much of a chance in them agreeing. Some of the individual companies also reporting. We've got some news that's going to move the market this morning from that angle, right?
Yes, we do. We have just a few common names. Merck, the drug manufacturer, they come out and beat by a penny a share. Revenue was slightly above what the forecast was. They had one of their cancer drugs, Keytruda, had a 66% increase from a year ago. So that was some good things happening there with Merck. And so this morning, as we kind of look, they're trading up about, a little over 2% this morning before we open up. And we go back and look at one of the other numbers when we talked about Amazon, Cigna. We talked about one of the other health insurance companies on Wednesday. Cigna came out. They beat by 4 cents a share. Revenue was also above estimates. So some good things happening there. And their guidance, their guidance was a little off. Yep. That's where the red ink is coming from, Dave. So they're trading down almost getting close to 5% now.
Yeah, we're getting at that point where I look at the loser list and you're giving me a good report. I'm saying, okay, that other shoe, when's it going to drop? It's got to be guidance, doesn't it?
It does. Yep, it does. We look at those three different things, right? Earnings, revenue, and forecast. So,
and you got to add 1,000 to make investors happy this earnings season, don't you?
Yeah, you really are having to do that. So we had Honeywell come out. They beat by 2 cents a share. Revenue was above forecast, and they kind of said they expect stronger than expected year, and so they're trading up to a little over 2% this morning. We had Yums China, not just Yums, but Yums of China came in, and they did okay. They're 4 cents above estimates. They said their same-store comparable sales rose 2%, led by KFC over there. And so good things that they're up a little over 3%. The one I wanted to mention is Symantec. You and I talked about them. They were in the news quite a bit third and fourth quarter last year because they're having issues. Right?
They're the people that make Norton antivirus, just to give everybody a picture as to what the marquee product for the company is.
Yep, that's their main thing, internet security. And remember, they had some issues with their what they call their K-10 filing. They were late in releasing earnings a couple times. So they had some issues the last half of last year. But they came out on time this quarter. They came in at 5 cents above estimates, which was good. Revenue was above forecast. And so things were looking good. Now, one thing they did say is that they've announced the departure of their chief financial officer, which makes you wonder if some of those issues weren't because of him. And this may be on your big winners list today, Dave, because they're up over 6.5% this morning.
I was going to say they're the top of my big winner list today. I was kind of thinking that maybe this is one of those times where, hey, we canned our head bean counter was good news to the investors because they're partying on Symantec this time around, aren't they?
They really are. And the last one I have for you today is Decker Outdoor, which is the Black & Decker brand. They had a really a good quarter. I mean, they were expected to come in at $5.30 a share. They were over a dollar ahead of that. They came in at $6.59 a share. So they did really well there. So, I actually misspoke. This is not Black & Decker. This is the maker of UGG boots.
Okay, I was going to say I didn't remember. Yeah. Okay.
So I misspoke. I apologize for that.
I get confused looking at the summations as well. I would have assumed Black & Decker, wouldn't you?
But yeah. Well, I did.
so people, you want to buy some boots, you got it made, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're up almost 7% this morning.
That flies. Hey, setting the table for this morning. Yesterday, we managed to, on balance, hold on to the big gains we had from the day before. Dow, as Phillip mentioned, was down by 15 points yesterday, which in the context of a 25,000 Dow really isn't very much at all. NASDAQ was up by well over 1%, up 99 points, and the Standard & Poor's over 0.75% as well, up 23 points yesterday. Phillip, 45 minutes before the markets open this morning, I'm seeing kind of a confusing set of directions. How about you?
Well, Dave, actually, we have flipped around here since the jobs report numbers really come in and sank it in, because we were pretty much in the red across the board this morning, and we flipped to green most of the way. The Dow's up $74. The S&P 500 is up 3.5. NASDAQ is still in the red by $18. Gold and silver are both pretty even. And then we've got crude oil, is getting close to 55. It's at 54.02. That's a substantial increase over where we were just a month or so ago.
Wow. And those equity indexes, that really is a change. My delayed quote was showing 831, and it was kind of a mixture of red and flat. So it's quite a change to the positive. Overseas markets, by and large, Asia was mixed. Hong Kong and the rest of the Chinese markets off by a tinge. Japan is up. Europe is trading generally up midway through their day. Phillip, I need to stabilize that retirement fund and figure out how I can retire in a secure fashion. How do I get a hold of you for an X-ray report?
David, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Follow us online at statlerfinancial.com, and then join us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show. Noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
All righty. I appreciate it. Then back again Monday morning here on Light. Phillip, thank you so much. You have a great weekend, and don't strain yourself loading the U-Haul, all right?
All right, man. We'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Take care, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Stop everything you're